The XFL debuts this weekend. Excited to see how it goes. The XFL is this league that I think is going to have to battle against the reputation of the original XFL, although it is a much different league than the original XFL. If you do recall, the original XFL was founded by Vince McMahon, obviously. He wanted to get in the football world, but it wasn't supposed to be a television event. There was an entire 30 for 30, basically. It was just supposed to be live events at stadiums. It was supposed to be this gladiator-type football. There was supposed to be cheerleaders. There was supposed to be music. It was supposed to be this stadium-type event where fans come and cheer for their team, and then it got forced onto network television. Then it got forced onto NBC, I believe, if I'm accurate. And that is automatically what was eventually, inevitably, its downfall, because not everybody could handle the character, which is the best heel in the history of the world, Vince McMahon's character in the football world on broadcast television in the middle of the day, and it eventually ended up collapsing, and it was kind of thrown together in a quick fashion. This time, the XFL has been completely rebranded, reimagined, and reinvented with the hiring of Oliver Luck. The bank account, I guess, and now this is just from reports of what Alpha Sports, which is what Vince McMahon founded to start this XFL, they have a big bankroll behind them. They've changed the rules. They've done all this research. They're trying to make football better, and I don't believe this is something that was thrown together. This is something that has been thought out, processed, and supposed to make football better to watch on television. The game's supposed to be quicker. The extra point rules are going to be insane. If a team's down 9, they're still in it because a touchdown's worth 6, and you can go for a 3-pointer. The over-under betting talk that I'm going to be allowed to talk about, the spreads during the game we're going to be allowed to talk about. The football is going to be a much higher pace one. There's no punting out of bounds. The return game, the punt returns are going to account for some real scores in these games. And I'm just looking at this from afar. And punts are normally in the NFL, they used to be electric. They used to be, and there's a lot of great players, but now we're at the point where punters can control the returners so much. And there was my second to last year I punted, or maybe it was my last year I punted. I went 10 weeks without a single return yard, like in kickoff return and in punting. Like not a single return yard did we give up for 10 weeks. That's eliminating some of the most explosive athletes on the field. Punt returners are the most athletic dudes on the field usually. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Back in the day, it was Devin Hester. It was Dante Hall. It was Deshaun Jackson. There was a couple people that did it. But nowadays in the NFL, everybody has this freak athlete returning a punt. And if they get the ball in open space, they're able to make a lot of moves. It used to be a very opportunistic play. Now punters have gotten very good at their job. It's a calculated turnover, a strategy. Let's gain some field. So in the NFL, it's a little bit different. But in the XFL, the ball is not easy to punt. Nobody on the coverage team is allowed to leave the line of scrimmage before the ball is caught or punted. I mean, it's just going to open up the field a lot. I think there's going to be massive punt returns. I think the kick returns are going to be interesting because they move the coverage team down the field to the 35. They can't leave. But I think all the little aspects of the game that could be considered down points for the viewer, the XFL has legitimately tried to ramp those up in entertainment value. And I think this weekend we're getting a peek at what could potentially be a lot of new rules in the future of football and the future of NFL, but also maybe changing and reimagining football a little bit. I'm excited to be a part of that game on Sunday at 5 o'clock on ESPN, and I can't wait to hear what flows out of my mouth while I'm sprinting down the field with the quarterback, running back, or wide receiver while he's about to score. I'm going to look like that redheaded ball boy from Florida State.
Red Lightning.
Red Lightning. I'm going to look like him running down the field with a microphone next to him. I'm very excited to be a part of it, but I hope that everything that they've imagined, and I hope that everything that they've pieced together does make football better for the viewer, because to be honest, we're in a changing world. Everything has to change with the times. I'm not saying football at its core should ever change because I think it's the best sport on earth. But if you can do some things to speed up the game a little bit or change it a little bit, I think that's something that people would definitely think about.
Really smart leaning into the gambling angle like that too, and encouraging people to, live bet the game and things like that. So it's not necessarily like, you get all these people who maybe don't really care about it, but you got $20-25 on the game, like that's going to bring in a lot more people who probably wouldn't watch it otherwise.
And who's your team?
DC Defenders, baby.
See, this is what I like about it. You can just absolutely throw a dart at a dart. There's Red Lightning. Red Lightning is obviously the ginger ball boy from Florida State from back in the day that used to outrun 5-star recruits from Florida State and other schools in the ACC while they're scoring a touchdown on the sideline. That's what I'm going to look like in the middle of the field with a microphone interviewing somebody as they're running in for a touchdown.